Zack Snyder.
Easy Riders, welcome to the Film Book Club YouTube channel. Today we're discussing Zack Snyder's Batman vs Superman: The Dawn of Justice. After Superman's victory over Zod in 2013's Man of Steel, the city of Metropolis lies in ruins. Bruce Wayne, who saw the devastation firsthand and even had one of his skyscrapers filled with employees destroyed, begins to keep a keen eye on Superman as he has severe concerns that he may not always use his powers for good. Billionaire Lex Luthor fans the flames on their heated relationship, causing them to fight to the death. He also creates a supervillain called Doomsday, which eventually causes Batman and Superman to put aside their differences and fight to save the rest of the world. Oh yeah, and Wonder Woman turns up at the end, just to join in and stuff. I think from that convoluted synopsis you immediately know that this film is riddled with problems, or as I like to call them, Zack Snyderisms. Now, I love the character of Batman. I'm a big fan of the Tim Burton films. I thought the Christopher Nolan universe was fantastic, and even the Batman in the Lego movie was a pleasant surprise. But with Batman vs Superman, it just reminded me of that thing parents say, where they go, "We're not angry, we're just disappointed." The annoying thing is, we should know better, us as audience members. Now, Zack Snyder is a director who understands plot development and character about as much as Donald Trump can comprehend tolerance, peace, and compassion. Topical satire, get on board. I made myself a little checklist of Snyderisms just to see how many times they'd crop up more than any character or narrative work. The list included heavy rainfall, slow motion to fast motion, then back to slow motion, classic songs, and super fast zooms. Now, I noticed heavy use of each of those checkpoints, so why did I still find myself asking questions like, so who is Lex Luthor? Where did he come from? How does he come into things? Who is Wonder Woman? Why is she there? What does she know that we don't? What is a Doomsday? What is that creature? I ended up looking at the film the way a 6-year-old would look at a university-level geometry question. But the difference is there is no intelligence in anything related to this film whatsoever. Whereas I do imagine university-level geometry questions will be quite difficult. It's just 2 hours of talking then with 40 minutes of a CGI fight scene at the end. It would have been better if I would have just stayed at home and played Arkham Asylum. Essentially, the whole thing just looks like one big music video for Evanescence. It's the same with every Zack Snyder film. He looks pretty, but everything else is out the window. Look at The Shiny. What about that? Look at The Shiny. Ooh. And the screening that I went to was absolutely packed, but people in there, I had a look around halfway through, people were bored out of their minds, and it just got me thinking, who exactly was this film made for? Even the die-hard fanboys looked a bit bewildered. The children in there were falling asleep. As bad as the two Joel Schumacher Bat flicks are, children could still watch them today and get some great escapism out of them. Whereas in this, there is nothing in here for children whatsoever. We've just found the Die Another Day of the Batman franchise. The cast is fine. Ben Affleck does a really good job both as Bruce Wayne and Batman. He looks great in the role, he's got a fantastic physicality to him, and he does actually prove to be a very good choice as Batman and Bruce Wayne. Henry Cavill as Superman is fine, although he doesn't really do too much apart from floating around, just looking a bit solemn for 2.5 hours. Amy Adams is great as ever as Lois Lane, although her character is a little all over the place. At one moment she's a damsel in distress, then the next moment she's an undercover reporter, then she's helping out Superman, then she's upset that something else has happened. There was no real continued journey, and she just seemed a bit of a side piece for a lot of the final scenes of the film. Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor chews every piece of scenery on set, and he also may just be the most annoying screen villain in recent memory. In fact, if you can think of anyone more annoying than this character, write your answers below, because I certainly can't. He's also extremely unthreatening as well. I just wasn't afraid of anything he was going to do at all. He just didn't seem to have the threat factor for me. And as some big supervillain, I just didn't believe him whatsoever. Gal Gadot as Superwoman, yeah, fine, good job, but she's barely in it. She's basically got a cameo. And Jeremy Irons as Alfred looks like he wants to be anywhere else but that film set. Get me my agent on the phone. I was wondering if you could call Disney and maybe get me in the new Lion King sequel. Is there going to be a sequel? Could we just fund one anyway? I don't care if my character died in the first one, just do it. Get me anywhere but here. On a scale of superhero shitness, I think this is worse than Spider-Man 3. As bad as that film was, at least there was still fun moments in it. But don't worry, we haven't quite reached the lows of X-Men Origins Wolverine, which I would put hands down as the worst superhero film in recent memory. There'll be plenty of giant comic book fans out there, people who know the Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman universe a lot more than I will, and they'll probably go out and love it, and that's fine. This is just me from the outside looking in. I've always been a massive fan of Batman, but not so much in the comics. It's always been the film universe which I've been interested in, and some of the animated series. And for me, on that level, looking into the film, I just wouldn't recommend it to anyone else. And you know, that's fine. If you enjoy it, great. But there was a lot of people, as well as myself in my screening, who walked out with very stern faces. No doubt the film's going to be very successful despite negative reviews. I think it's going to go out there, loads of people are going to go and see it, and it will be very financially successful. But it just adds fuel to my theory that Zack Snyder is just the Michael Bay for the Instagram generation. If Christopher Nolan's Bat trilogy was an Aston Martin, then this is a Skoda. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you've enjoyed this, then just click subscribe at the bottom. Check out our Facebook and Twitter pages, and also our podcast, which is on iTunes, and spread the word. We'll hopefully see you soon. Bye.